So it was reported that Dangote visited the president, Tinubu, in Aso Rock, and some things happened immediately. NNPC, following that meeting, increased the pump price of petrol again from 1,030 naira to 1,060 naira in places like Abuja. What is going on exactly? What is it that Tinubu is not telling Nigerians? That Mele Kyari and the NNPC are not telling Nigerians? What is it that Dangote, Aliko Dangote now, and Dangote Refinery are not telling Nigerians? What is going on? I thought they said that with the coming on stream of Dangote refineries, that prices of petrol will crash. Why are we now seeing that every time Dangote Refinery visits Aso Rock or mentions meeting in Aso Rock, what follows is further increase in prices of petrol product? Why? Yesterday he's on air saying that the Dangote Refinery can process up to 30 million liters of petrol every day. And so that there's no need for importation. So, if this is true, why is Dangote's refinery's price higher than that of imported fuel? Why and how? Nigerians must begin to wake up to the realities of the fact that Dangote Refineries is not a Nigerian company and does not belong to a Nigerian. Majority of it is owned by IFC-linked corporations. And the mere fact that it is situated in a free trade zone area speaks volumes. Because the laws that govern free trade zone areas are more of IMF and World Bank laws, BIT, ISDS, and ICSID laws. More of those laws than the laws of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. So as it is now, Dangote is as powerful as that Chinese company. Dangote Refinery, is as powerful as that Chinese company that sued Nigeria and got our planes, presidential jets, grounded. Is Dangote engaging in some kind of blackmail or bullying tactics to get the Nigerian government to do his bidding? Who is considering the interest of the Nigerian people in all of this? The price of petrol now, even while it was at 1,030 naira per liter in Abuja, Nigeria, is more expensive than the price of petrol per liter in Texas. But now that you have increased it even further, it's even further more expensive. What is going on? How can you, the president, and the so-called elite be forcing Nigerians living in Nigeria to be living as though they were living abroad in Nigeria? The price or cost of electricity, 220 naira per kilowatt hour, is already more expensive than the cost of power in America. School fees is nearing the same thing. Housing is nearing the same thing. Then you have petrol, more expensive than the price of petrol in America. My God, it's like you are forcing Nigerians to live abroad in Nigeria. Meanwhile, we don't have the same job opportunities. We don't have the same earning capacity. We don't have the same purchasing power. So much unemployment here. What is going on? There are only two solutions to this problem. Unfortunately, it does not include these people. Would it not be better if we had 1,000 refineries that can be doing 650 barrels per day refining capacity? Is it not better? And we train our young graduates in the Niger Delta, in Nigeria as a whole, in the technology required to build refineries ourselves? What is the big deal about refinery? Nothing. Fractional distillation. Then after that, you just put chemicals to blend, to remove the sulfur content. That is all. Why can't we train our youths, even if it's not only youths in the Niger Delta? Why can't we train them to such an extent that we can build our own refineries? It's not like it's not doable. We have artisanal refineries being set up in the Niger Delta, and then we have government use security agents to go and destroy them. Why don't we get those people who have the science and the technology to build those artisanal refineries? Why don't we get them together and structure their knowledge to such an extent that we standardize it, so that we can get them to build small artisanal refineries across the whole of the Niger Delta? What stops us from doing that? Absolutely nothing but the government. Of course, that will not favor the IMF and the World Bank. Yes, it won't, because they are the ones that bankroll the IFCs that are behind the multinational corporations, whether it is oil, pharma, tech, or whatever. And so they know very well that the existence of the IMF and the World Bank sees to the success of America only if we fail. Okay, now, not just America, the American-led West. And even indeed the global North. Yeah, the American-led West, more. Because the Russians and the Chinese have created BRICS, and the Indians and the Brazilians and the South Africans, they have created BRICS, right? So the IMF and the World Bank actually just benefits the US-led West. And of course, they won't be happy that we engage in projects that will free us from their grip, their stranglehold, their strangle grip. They won't like it. So what do? They have to continue to force a leader like Tinubu on us. And Tinubu needs to perpetuate himself in office only with the support of such people. The only reason I say it, that they cannot be cool against Tinubu, is because he's doing well for the IMF and World Bank and the CIA, and those are the only persons that have the capacity to engage in any coup. All the coups in Nigeria, trace them back. You see the hand of the IMF and the World Bank in it, the UK and America. You see their hands in it. So for Tinubu to continue in power, he must do the bidding of the IMF and the World Bank and the CIA. He must dance to their tune. And he's doing it. And part of it is this whole big corporation imposition on Nigeria by way of the Dangote refinery. With the coming up of Dangote refinery, if it was structured for the interest of Nigerians, we should be seeing reduction in the cost of plastics, reduction in the cost of medicines, antibiotics, reduction in the cost of fertilizers. We should be seeing reduction in all of those costs. But are we seeing reduction in those costs? The answer is no. In fact, everything is going up. And it's because of the policies of Tinubu. Somebody will come and argue that, no, it's not Tinubu, it was Buhari. Yes, Buhari did his harm to the economy of Nigeria. But what we are going through today, put it squarely at the feet and at the table of Tinubu. Two policies he engaged that put us in this mess. Devaluation of the Naira, an increase in the prices of goods in the name of subsidy removal. And people forget that it's not just in the oil and gas sector. Subsidy removal in electricity. Subsidy removal in education. Subsidy removal in health. It costs so much now to treat malaria. People would rather sit at home and pray and die than to go to hospitals because they don't even have the money to go there. The general hospitals, it's a nightmare. It takes so long. You queue. And all of these two policies. So let nobody deceive any Nigerians to say that, oh, it was because of the past actions of Buhari or Jonathan. No, those ones, they did their damage, they did their harm to the Nigerian economy. But right now, we are suffering because of two policies of Tinubu, and we can correct them. All we need to do is start with the Food and Social Welfare Law. Free Nigerians from the stranglehold of these corrupt politicians. Once we are able to do that, then we'll be on our way. Then we can solve the leadership problem by creating Abundance Party of Nigeria. Once we do that, we're on our way. Then we can take back this country. What does it take? See, elsewhere in the world, the same thing to do, the sensible thing to do is you develop your science, you develop your technology around the resources that you have. If we have crude oil, then our students from primary school to secondary school to university should be taught how to identify crude oil, how to extract crude oil, how to refine crude oil, how to set up refineries, the materials you need. We should be able to produce them here. That is the only way that we can create the jobs, the number of jobs, and the quality of jobs that Nigerians need to get them out of poverty. But is that the path that Tinubu is on? The answer is no. He's on the path to sell Nigeria to the highest bidder in the name of foreign direct investment. They are just cheapen the value of our corporations by devaluing the naira so that the IFCs or the multinationals that are linked to the IFCs, that are linked to the World Bank and IMF, will buy up those infrastructure. That's what they are doing. And unfortunately, Tinubu is giving in to their demands and doing their bidding. And we need to change this. So we need the two-pronged approach. Solve the leadership problem, solve the followership problem. And the two solutions to do that are the Food and Social Welfare Law. We have to institutionalize welfare system in Nigeria. It has to be law. It has to be clear to everybody. And we have to solve the leadership problem by creating a new political party that will stop the excesses of thugs, stop the excesses of INEC, stop the excesses of security agencies, stop the excesses of the judiciary, and stop the excesses of political parties, of Tinubu and the APC. These are our two solutions. Anything short of this, we're just wasting time.